see something else. From the way Saifuddin Qutuz, what did he do? Did he just send out his people to go and fight the Mongols? No, he didn't do that. Rather, what he did was he prepared the people. He unified the people. He sent out his scholars to teach the people, to make them strong, to unify them, and then to collect taxes. And even the taxes that they did were collected in a just way. The rich people was taken from the amirs first, and then the normal people, money was taken from them. We see that this is the preparation that the Muslims, Saifuddin Qutuz, took to defend the Muslims. And yet we see in our countries, Allahu Akbar, in our countries, our rulers, any sign of intimidation, they would forget defending the Muslims, they hand over the Muslim land. The example of Musharraf in his biography, what did he say? He said that America threatened to bomb Pakistan into the Dark Ages. So what did he do? He handed over Afghanistan. Do what you want with it. Do what you want with it. From a threat. Had Saifuddin Qutuz been of that mentality, we would no longer exist. Had he been just afraid, intimidated by threats, we would no longer exist as Muslims. Yet, we see out the cowed rulers how they behave today. Any intimidation, they do it. So then, the Mongols and the Muslims left Egypt and went to the outskirts of Egypt to start the battle with these Mongols who were on their way to fight the Muslims. And Saifuddin Qutuz, show you how intelligent this man was. He realized that we are going to be outnumbered here. We are badly outnumbered. So we need to devise a very clever strategy. So he decided, what we're going to do is we're going to place the majority of our army on rocky mountainous paths. Because we are used to this area, they don't know it. So he placed them in an unfamiliar area to the Mongols. But it was mountainous. So it was very difficult to fight there unless you're aware, if you know the area. And then he sent out a second section of the army to go and fight the Mongols. Now the Mongols thought this is all there is. This is all there is. This is just the ones who are fighting us now. So they were very confident. You know, we will destroy these people like we destroyed the others. And the Muslims employed a strategy that hadn't been used up until then. They would fight the Mongols, a little skirmish for a little period of time, and then they would retreat. And try and minimize casualties. And then they will fight, skirmish, and then retreat. And then fight, skirmish, start fighting for a little while, and then retreat. And they continuously did this, until the Mongols became very frustrated. Because as you can imagine, they're very bloodthirsty. So they became frustrated, they wanted to kill the Muslims. So they said, let's charge after them. When the Muslims retreated this time, they said, let's charge after them. And when they charged after them, where did they go? They went into the mountainous area where the Muslims wanted them. And then they were encircled. They were encircled. And then the Muslims started attacking them. And it was even at this point in time, it was still a very equal battle. It was still a very equal battle. And the Muslims were fighting. And the Muslims were causing casualties on their side. But then there was a side of this mountainous path that had been penetrated. There was a hole. Because bear in mind, the Muslims surrounded them. There was a hole. They made a hole amongst the army of the Muslims. And Saifuddin Qutuz, who was obviously, he's the man who's dealing with the strategies, overlooking it with his battalion from the side. He sees this happening. And now he has to act quick, because if they break the Muslims, then they're going to be able to circle the Muslims. And the Muslims will be defeated. So he fought very quickly. What did he do? And I'm going to give you a slightly background information on something that happened just before this event. Saifuddin Qutuz, just before this event, if not during the event, during this battle, his wife passed away. And during this battle, during this discussion with his wife, he was very sad. And he was saying to her, you know, he was very, very sad. And there's an expression in Arabic. You know, if I have a headache, I would say, a head in Arabic is a rats. Yeah, rats. Yeah? So if I want to say, oh, my head, you say, wa ratsa. Yeah? Wa ratsa. My head is rats. And wa ratsa means, oh, my head, oh, my head. So he was saying the same thing for his wife. Yeah? Oh, my wife, oh, my wife. Wa zawjah, wa zawjah. And his wife on her deathbed, what did she say? She said to him essentially, man up. Islam is under attack. Why are you worried about me? Islam is under attack. Go and defend the Muslims. And from that he changed it from wa zawjah, oh my wife, to wa islama, oh Islam, oh Islam. Oh Islam, oh Islam. So now he, with his battalion, he's seeing the Muslims about to be penetrated. He pulls off his helmet so everyone can see that I am the leader of the Muslims and I'm going to fight myself. And he starts chanting, Wa Islamah, Wa Islamah, oh my Islam, oh my Islam. And he charges to the Muslims, and they cover this area and finish off the Mongols. And the Mongols were destroyed. Now again, there's another lesson we can learn from this. Look at our rulers. Look at our rulers. They would never sacrifice their own lives. Not only that, they preferred their own families to the people. And giving you a good example is the leader of Libya. The leader of Libya, Gaddafi. This man, he's never done anything for Islam. When Islam is attacked, when the cartoons were drawn, when all these things were taking place, he did nothing. But the moment his son was going to be arrested in Switzerland for some theft or for some violent conduct, yeah, he declared jihad against Switzerland. He declared jihad against Switzerland because it was his son. Can you see the parallel here? Or can you see the contrast, sorry. Can you see the Muslim, Sayfuddin Qutuz, his own wife died. And he was concerned with the dealing with the Muslims. And our rulers, when Islam is under attack, they don't care. But something happens to his beloved son, jihad fi sabilillah, brothers. Everybody go and march. Can you see the hypocrisy of these rulers? Not only that, when he was chanting, Wa Islamah, Wa Islam, oh my Islam, oh my Islam, it shows you how much he loved Islam. How much this man loved Islam. Yet in our time, our rulers, they hate Islam. And they hate the people who call to Islam. I watched a documentary, a little clip on YouTube of a brother who had been cut in half from front to back by one of the rulers in the Muslim world, or one of his police forces in the Muslim world. For what reason? For calling to Islam. For saying that I want to live under Sharia and I want to live by Islam. And he was oppressed. And he was tortured. And when his body was sent back to his family, they were stitched up all the way down his chest and all the way down his back. This is the treatment the people who call to Islam. This is what we face. Yet we see Sayfuddin Qutuz, he loved Islam so much. And our rulers, they just want to destroy, they hate Islam and they hate people who call to Islam. Our prisons in the Muslim world are full up with Muslims who call to Islam. Who call to the implementation of La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah. So we can see a big contrast between then and now. At the end of the battle, the Muslims, they annihilated the Mongols. Alhamdulillah, this was the beginning of the fall of the Mongols. One by one, the Muslims got rid of them from the countries that they had occupied. One by one, they got rid of them from Baghdad, and rid of them from Bilad al-Sham, and rid of them from all the Muslim countries, until the Mongol Empire was destroyed. But it started with Sayfuddin Qutuz. And not only did it start with Sayfuddin Qutuz, it started in which month? Shahr Ramadan. It started in the month of Ramadan. Yeah. Now, this is a momentous event in our history because, like I said, had we not been successful in this month, had we not been successful in this battle, there was nobody else to defend Islam. And many of us, like I said, we were not sure whether we'd be Muslim or not. Now, that's in regards to that. And I've drawn many different parallels to our reality that we're in today. Now, practically, what are we? What can we take now? What can we practically do with ourselves? Now, what we can learn from the example of Sayfuddin Qutuz and even the example from Salah ad-Din Ayyubi is that before that they were able to go out and clear up, purify our lands of the people who have occupied us, they had to unify. We saw that with Sayfuddin Qutuz. We saw that with Salah ad-Din Ayyubi. He unified all the Muslims. Removes all this division and separation that the Muslims are facing. The political division and separation the Muslims faced. Unified them under one emir. And then they were able to go and free our lands. And likewise, we have that same responsibility today. Today we have 52 or more than 52 states. Likewise, our responsibility is to work towards the unification of the Ummah under Khilafah state. This is our obligation today. Our obligation is to unify our lands so that we can spread the armies to go and liberate all our lands, like in Palestine. And inshallah, we'll have new heroes of Islam. Yeah, new heroes who the next generations will seek motivation from. But also we have some work we can do even in the UK. We see that in the UK we are facing an intellectual attack. We find that our deen is under constant attack. We find that our deen is under a constant attack. They're saying Islam is barbaric. They say Islam oppresses women. They say Islam is in need of reform. These are the arguments we hear constantly. Is that not so, brothers? We hear this. We say that you people oppress your women. you do this and you do that. Islam is terrorism. Islam is this. Islam is violence. Islam is hatred. Islam is... This is what we hear about Islam all the time. Are we not